Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. Today we will continue our lab, the transformers. This is the 27th video, I think. We will continue working with the captive portal concept. This is an option to be added to the Pfsense firewall. Basically what it does, that you to get to the internet you have to put a username and a password. Okay, this username and password is created on the Pfsense firewall. Okay, so you can get to the internet. We have discussed before in the previous lab how we can do this. Today we will continue our working with the captive portal subject, but here we will work not with a username and a password, but something called voucher. Voucher, basically what voucher means, that instead of giving the user to access the internet a username and a password, you will give it a code. Okay, and this code you can define it by specific time. For example, you can make vouchers for 1 hour, for 1 week, for 1 month, as you please. Okay, so and also you can. So as I said before, here we will use the voucher concept. As I said before, that you can give the user a code to access the internet for 1 hour, for 1 week, for 1 month, and you can specify some setting. For example, if the user left, or he will not work, or there is no activity on the internet or on his browser for example for 10 minutes, the code will disconnect. Or this is one option, and there is another option that you can tell him to disconnect even he is working. For example, if I working the internet for 2 hours, okay, or for example if the code is for 1 hour, after 1 hour it will disconnect. You can give him these options in the captive portal configuration page. We will see how this will be done, but let me show you a small a small graph just to remember what we have done, or to refresh our mind. Here is the transformers lab, and here is the network. This is the network of our lab. Okay, here we have the Pfsense firewall, and we have 3 network cards. One for the WAN, which is wide area network. Here we can get to the internet through this interface, and this is the LAN. This is our local area network, or office or production environment, office local area network. Here we have our servers, our workstations. Here if the user wants to get to the internet, he had to talk to this network card on the firewall, and then this network card or the LAN interface will forward this user to the WAN interface so he can be able to get to the internet. We have added a 3rd network card with a 3rd interface, which we have called it guest wireless network here, and we have put on it the DHCP server and captive portal. So if we have a scenario that this is the guest laptop, we will give him a username and a password. Okay, so as soon as he opens his laptop, he will get an IP address from the DHCP, and then the captive portal will appear for him asking for a username and a password, which we will give him before that. When he puts them, this interface will talk, or will redirect him, or will route him to the WAN interface so he can get to the internet. Okay, we have done this captive portal option with the username and the password. Okay, here we will use the voucher concept. As I said before, the voucher is like a code, and the code is specified by a certain time. The user can use it, for example 1 hour, and then he will disconnect, or for 1 week or 1 month, as you please. And we can make some different options on the captive portal. So you can tell him, for example, if the user didn't use the internet for 10 minutes, you can disconnect the internet connection so he can log in back again. And for example, you can give him something called hardware reset or hardware force. For example, if you were working with the internet for 30 minutes or 1 hour, for example, he will disconnect you either you are working or not. This is called hardware. We'll see this option when we configure it. And here is some basic configuration setting. If you want, this is our network configuration. If you want to know better or know how this network is created, please refer to my previous videos. But basically here is our LAN Okay, it's on network card VM net 1, and this is our WAN, it's on network card VM net 4. This is our network, this is our guest wireless network, it is on VM network 5. VM, it's abbreviation of virtual machine network, net for network card. Okay, so this is, we have the VM network 5, VM network 1, VM network 4, and this is the IP address. We have here the range of the office local area, it's 192.168.2.0, and for the one it's 192.168.1.0, and this for the guest it's 10.0.0.0. Okay, so let's begin. We will go to our video. As I said before, because I am commenting with two languages, so I first record the video and then begin commenting on it. Okay, so here we will open the VM Workstation Pro. And then we power on the virtual machine which contains the firewall system. As I said before, Pfsense is a free open firewall source, open source firewall. It's based on FreeBSD Linux system. It's a distribution, or it's a Linux distro called FreeBSD. I can show you all something here. Let me show you. When we work with the voucher, as I said before, we will create vouchers. Here is the page that will appear for the user to enter his voucher code. Here is the portal page. So you can see here that this is the login page that will appear for the user. You can use the username and the password. We have done this in the previous video, and here we will enter the voucher code, or the code that will give it to the user, and we can specify it with a specific interval of times, and then continue. He will be able to get to the internet. So this is the page. After we finish the configuration, we will test this page and see if we can use it or not. Okay, so here we will continue the lab. We have powered on the firewall. It will take some time until it boots and load its system. I think we can fast forward this video a little bit. Okay, here we can see that the captive portal service is running. Here we named the captive portal as guest Wi-Fi internet. Here we can see that the firewall system is launched, or it's up and running. Then we will open our browser and access the firewall through its IP address. Okay. Then we will put the local password for the firewall, which we have set it up in the beginning of the lab, beginning of installing the Pfsense firewall. So here we will open the services and then get to the captive portal and activate the option for vouchers. Here we will edit our captive portal. We have done this in a previous video. And then we will go to the tab called vouchers, and then we will enable creation and generation of vouchers. Click this combo box to enable the voucher option and save. And then we will begin adding vouchers. As I said before, we can create vouchers with numbers. For example, need a voucher for 1 hour, voucher for 1 week, or voucher for 1 month. So we will add roll. This is the number or the order that these vouchers will be executed by the system. It begins with 0. Here we can tell him the voucher will be for 60 minutes, for 1 hour. The count, we can have 10 vouchers. Here what we mean by 10, we mean that we will have 10 codes. Every code will be for 1 hour. Okay, here the voucher works with minutes. Okay, for example, if you want to make one voucher for 1 hour, you need to tell the system that the voucher will be for 60 minutes. For example, if you need it to be for 1 week, then you need to change weeks to minutes. If you went and tell him which in the field of minutes per ticket, you will put or change the week to minutes, or if for example you want it for 1 month, you will change the months to minutes. Okay, then you can put your comment on it. Vouchers for 1 hour internet, and then save. Then we will make another one for this is now 0. This is the another roll. It's number 1 in sequence. The first one will be 0 in roll, and the second will be roll number 1. It's in order to be executed. Here I'm trying to use the calculator, but simply you can go to Google and tell him to change it, but actually we can bypass this because actually it will not work for me. So here we'll go to the Google and tell him how much 1 week contains in minutes. Very simple and easy. Here it says that 1 week it's 10,080 minutes. Okay, so here we will copy it to the minutes per ticket, and then the count, we will have 10 vouchers, the same as 1 hour. I'm doing this to simulate a production environment. I was working in a hotel, so when we had cards for 1 week and 1 day and 1 month, so I'm just simulating how this will be in a production environment. Mostly guests will need internet for 1 hour for doing short business needs, for example sending an email or something, and some will stay for longer in the hotel, so you need they need internet for 1 week, and some will stay much longer. We had a guest that stayed every year for 3 months in the hotel, so he needs a very long time card to access the internet. So here we are making for 1 week and 1 hour and 1 month. Here I forgot to make it for 1 day because actually there is some guests that need to access the internet for 1 day. Okay, so we have here 3 vouchers or 3 types of vouchers, 1 hour and 1 week. Just a minute, let me show you what I have did here. So here we have vouchers for 1 hour and 1 week and 1 month. After we have created the vouchers, we will export it in an Excel sheet. Okay, and in this Excel sheet it will contains the code. So after that we will print the code. For example, we will get it on an Excel sheet, and then we will print it and give it to the guest so he can access the internet. So here I'm just exporting. If you can see that this icon, it is to export it to Excel sheet, and also it has the icons on X. This means Excel. Okay, so here you have done we have activated the voucher option, and we have export the Excel sheets. So here we will do something, because in my previous video, let me show you what I mean. In our previous video, when you're using the captive portal with username and password, we didn't use this portal page. I show you from a couple of seconds that this portal page that will appear for the guest. Okay, we didn't use this captive portal before. In our previous video we were using this captive portal page. Okay, this was the old one that I was using in my previous video, so we will change it because there isn't a box or a field for voucher. So I will use the second one, because it contains fields for both, for username and password, and also voucher. So if you want to use both options, this captive portal page will help you. Okay, this captive portal, so as I said before, this portal will not work. We will use with this portal. This will be much better because you can use it. You can use username and password and voucher, so you can use both ways or use both options. So how did I get this portal page? Okay, there is a website. Let me show you all. It is, I have put it in my bookmarks. Let's wait for a second. It's here. Get started. No, it's for Chrome. Just a minute. Here is the login templates. Here we can see that this is sorry, I think this is login custom templates, login templates. Just a minute. No, this is not it. Just a minute. There is another one. Let me show you all. Here is the Chrome, and this okay, here it is. This is a website that contains some captive portal templates. Okay, this is one of them. You can download it. Okay, I have already downloaded it in my Transformers folder, and I will upload it on a Google Drive link, so you can all access it. It will be under the description of the video in my YouTube channel. Okay, this is one captive portal template, and this is another one. I prefer to use it because this one contains much better options. For example, here, let me show you all. Here in this you can put a username and the password, and here is a voucher, and here if you want to, for example, market or just make a propaganda for your internet cards, you can put here the duration and the price of each internet card. Okay, so this is also better. I will leave it for you all. This is This is a free website that offers these templates for free, so you can all use it. It's called Pfsense free captive portal login templates, and this is the URL. And I will put the one that we will use now here. I will put it in the transformers folder so we can use it. Okay, so just a minute. So here we will go to the here is the, I will put it in the transformers folder. Okay, here it is, and this is the blue one and this is the dark one. This is two types of portals. So to do this, we will go to the, we need to tell the Pfsense firewall we will change this captive portal login page from the old one to the new one. Here we will choose the file, and I will go to the new captive portal and choose the login page here. Okay, before that we need to do something. Okay, but let me show you how this is done, because this captive portal need to be set up in a certain way. Here we will choose the captive portal, and here we will choose the authentication error page. This is the page that will appear for the user if there is a problem with the code. Okay, so we give him the portal page, this will appear for the user, and the other one is for the error page. If this code contains any errors or it's expired, he will give him the login error page. Okay, so let me pass this really quickly, and we will save. Okay, after doing the portal, we're giving him the changing the portal page. Here we have changed the portal. Now we will test, or we will see how this vouchers will work. Here we will test our vouchers from the status. There is something called test vouchers. We will choose a code from each duration. We will take a code from the 1 hour vouchers, and a code from the 1 week vouchers, and a code from the 1 month, and test if these vouchers are working or not. Sorry, the the Excel sheet opens a little bit slow. Here we can see that this is the where is the number of roles is ticket, and there is this is for, I need to show you which one. Okay, this is the one. We can get a little bit here. Okay, this is for number of roles 16 magic sum. This is for the 1 week. Okay, this is the code for 1 week. We will take this code. We have 10 codes, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. We will take one code and test it from every voucher from every voucher type. So we'll tell him test. So here we can see that this is for 43800. This is for the 1 week code, and he says that it is good and it is granted and it's working. Okay, so this is for the 1 week. We have tested it. Now we will test for the 1 hour and the 1 month. It's 43800. This is for the, it's 1 week in minutes. Okay, how did I know that? As I told you before, we can Google it and see. So here we will take this for the 1 month, I think. Let's see how this will work. We will test it. This is for the 1 week because it's 10,080. This is for the 1 week. The previous was for 1 month, and here we will take for the 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. We can see that all of them are working. So let's continue our lab. Here we were testing the codes. So now here we will begin testing it live on a guest virtual machine. As I said before, I have created a virtual machine, and we will test this code on it. This is called guest internet Wi-Fi. This is a virtual machine that we have created in the previous video to test and see how the voucher will work. This is simply what we will do to create a voucher. Here we will log in to the PC or the guest. Let me bypass it real quick. Put the username and the password. Sorry, here we show you something. Just a minute. Okay, we can see here that this will appear for the guest. Here the username and password and the voucher. We will put the voucher here, and then we can access the internet. So here we can successfully log in after that, but we need to we can access the internet. Sorry, here it's probably there is some, it will take a little bit of time, but at the end it will work. We need to do something else, a step I have missed. We need to go to the file manager and do something. Just a minute. Okay, here, just a minute now. Let me pass all of this. Pass all of this. Is not needed. Okay, here you go. We will see. Okay, to make this captive portal work, let me show you something, guys. Here, this captive portal, as I said before, we are working now with this captive portal. Okay, this is the portal that will appear for the guest. As you can see that the one in the video didn't appear with the same format. This is because you need to do an extra step. I will show you how we can make it work perfectly. We should upload this file, okay, in the captive portal file manager. How this will be done? After, of course, putting the login and uploading the login page and the login error. Okay, just a minute, sorry. We need to go to the file manager, okay, and put the this file. I will show you how this is done. We need to tell him add, okay, and upload. We will choose the file. We need to upload this file, so the blue thing or the the format appears as this. Okay, so you need to upload this file, and you can see here the installation for this captive portal. It is in this text file. Okay, so here we have uploaded this file, so it will appear correctly. Here we can just, I can pause all of this because this is, we don't need all of this. Here we can see, just a minute. Here we can see that the code that we have put a couple of minutes here says it is active and it will expire in 47 minutes. Here let's test and see if the captive portal will appear with the same format. Okay, let me pause it really quick. Okay, sorry. Here we can see another thing here. As I was working with my lab, I have seen that there is an update for the firewall. We will discuss this also in this video. If you have an update for the firewall, how to do it. Okay, but this is I have seen that there is a new version of the Pfsense firewall system. It's 2.4.5. I am currently using 2.4.4. so we will update this firewall system. Here we can pause it real quick. Here we can see here confirm. This is also, it's not intended to be in this video, but actually I'm doing it just to show you all if any problems appeared during the upgrading of the firewall system, how it will be solved. Okay, so you are just telling him that there is an update, and then we will begin updating the firewall system. So let's continue our lab. Here we were upgrading the firewall. Okay, I have encountered some problem with the Squid package after upgrading the firewall. As we said before, Squid, it's something, it's a package to be installed on Pfsense to make it as a proxy server to filter the internet for your Active Directory user or for your domain. If you want to filter the internet, for example, you need to block some websites or to block some category of websites like porn and alcohol or something. This is what is done by the Squid package. It's also a free package to be added to the Pfsense firewall. Here we can see that I had a problem with my internet connection, so the update or the downloading of the update failed for some reason, but let's wait and see. Yeah, okay, I can just pause it really quickly. Okay, here we can see that the update failed because I had we can pause it. I can see that the update failed because my internet connection was down. Okay, my Wi-Fi connection was down at that time, so it failed. Okay, we need to do something before upgrading any firewall. If you have any firewall in production, you need first to back up the firewall configuration before doing any upgrade to the firewall, okay, system, especially if this upgrade is not tested yet, or for a precaution. It's a best practice to take a backup of the firewall every interval of time. For example, you can take a backup of the firewall every month, for example. Okay, so I forgot to take a backup of the firewall configuration before upgrading the firewall. So for my good luck that my internet connection was down and the system update failed, so I will go and make a backup of the firewall configuration, and then I will begin again upgrading the firewall. So here we can see that in diagnostic there is something called backup and restore. We can see here that we can back up all of the configuration of the firewall, okay, and it can be downloaded as an XML file. So we will back up all of the firewall configuration and we will download it as an XML. This is very critical if you are doing any upgrade for any system, not even the firewall. If for example you are doing an upgrade for a Windows server, for example, okay, you need, as for Windows server you can make a system restore point or something, or a complete backup of the system if you need. But here for the firewall we are just, if you have any firewall you need to back up the configuration of the firewall. As for if any reason happened the firewall system is down, you can reinstall the firewall system and then restore the configuration of the firewall. Okay, so here we are making a backup of the configuration of the firewall as an XML file. Here we will save it. As I said before, when I did an upgrade to the firewall, a problem arises because the squid package was not updated, or it needs to be updated after the firewall upgrade is done. So we will see this in a moment. Here I will download again the update after taking the backup. Okay, here we will begin downloading the backup again. Oh, sorry, download the latest system again because my internet connection was back. Okay, so here we are downloading the system. Okay, this, as we can see here, this is the new Pfsense firewall system. Here you can see that you need to reinstall some packages after after the upgrade of the firewall. We will see that in a moment. After upgrading the firewall, we will see that some options or some packages need to be reinstalled, okay, or to be updated. As I said before, Pfsense firewall is an open source firewall. If you need to add new options, these options are added through packages, okay. So sometimes after upgrading the main Pfsense firewall system, these packages also need to be updated. This is not done automatically. You need to go to some of these packages and update them manually. We will see this in a moment. We will not rush, don't get confused. Here we are installing the latest Pfsense firewall system, and we will see the problems that will arise after this upgrade. Okay. We can see that the firewall system download is almost finished. We can see there is some conflict with some packages that we have already added to the firewall, which is in specific it will be the squid package. We need to update or upgrade this package after the firewall upgrade is finished. Yes, it's extracting the firewall upgrade packages. I can just okay, the system update successfully finished. Here he is rebooting the firewall after the upgrade is finished. Here we can see that it's taking a little bit of time, so if you can go to the, let me check for a minute. Here you can see that I have returned to my Pfsense firewall command prompt. Here we can see that the upgrade is still working. Okay, in the background there is still some upgrade is missing, or it's still it's restarting. Okay, and it's still making some updates. The updates is still not finished. Here we can see that it's putting normally, but here we can see that the squid will appear in a couple of seconds. The squid package needs to be updated. Okay, so let's continue our lab. Here we will, as you see here, that still the firewall is upgrading, even though the graphical interface says that it is rebooting. It is rebooting already. Okay, but during the process of rebooting there is still some process for upgrading the squid package. We will see this in a moment. Here we can see here here we can see, just for a minute, here we can see that he is upgrading. Just a minute, we'll focus on this. Here we can see that the following two packages will be affected. This is after upgrading the firewall. He says here that we need to upgrade the squid guard and the squid packages. After upgrading the firewall, these two packages need to be upgraded. So here he is upgrading these two packages in the command prompt, but here it hang for some reason, so I make a restart to the firewall and upgraded it from inside the graphical interface. We will see this in a moment. Here we can see that it's executing the it's making some custom commands to upgrade the package, but for some reason it took a long time, so I restarted the firewall and then upgraded it from inside the firewall system itself. We'll see this in a moment. Here we can see that this is still okay. Okay, I'm coming here to the captive portal. We can bypass this one also. Pass this also. Here I am just rebooting. Still there is a problem with this package. I am rebooting the firewall. Okay, there is still a problem. So still I had a problem with this package not upgraded, so I have already powered off the firewall. And also there is a problem with the hard disk of this firewall. It is it's fragmented, so I will defrag it from edit virtual machine and then hard disk and then defrag. Here I am, after finishing the defragment, I am opening the firewall again. Here we can see that after opening it still needs to upgrade this package. Still he is upgrading the firewall package squid, but just a minute, let's see. It's now executing. It hanged before, but now after closing the firewall and defragment, or making a defragment for the firewall hard disk, now it is executed and it is done. So the squid package is upgraded. Okay, let's go here for a minute. Now the firewall is up and running and the squid package is upgraded after the upgrade of the firewall. So the main issue here, or the problem that I faced after upgrading the firewall, that the squid package need to be upgraded. Okay, after upgrading the firewall itself. Let's pass it a little bit more. Okay, so here I don't think I need the captive portal and anything. Okay, let's pass all of this. Okay, here let's go to this is the page, but it's not appearing correctly. Here we will test it on. Here, let me show you all for a couple of minutes. Okay, this is the wrong. Okay, let's go a little bit further up. Sorry. Okay, let's go there. Okay, let's see. Here is the page format is not correct. Here, this is not the correct format. We need to go to the file manager of the captive portal and upload the captive. Okay, let's show you. Let me show you. This is the wrong format. We need to go to this file. Okay, tools, collections, transformers, and this blue captive. We need to here to upload this file to the Pfsense firewall through the file manager in the firewall Pfsense. I have showed you this in a couple of seconds ago. Let's see this here. This is the wrong format. We need to go to the file manager. Just a minute. Here we go to the file manager and add this file to the file manager. Okay, upload it. Okay, add and then upload this file. So the blue screen appears, or the format is correct. We will test now this on the guest and see. Here we will test and see if the captive portal page appears as it should be. Here we will try one of our voucher codes. This is for 1 hour. We can go to the captive portal. Here, for example, if we need to deactivate one of the codes we have, we will go to expire voucher from the captive portal and then tell him to expire this code. Okay, if we need to, for example, make this code expire, we will go, we have expired this voucher, and then we will test the same voucher again and see if it is deactivated. We can see now that it is denied. We see it's expired and denied. This is how to expire a voucher. We have seen how to test a voucher. We need to expire a code, so we can do this through the through the captive portal service, through the diagnostic, and through the status story, and then the captive portal, and then through the expire voucher tab. Okay, here we can see that 2 codes are expired. I will test this one. We can see that this code, it is good for 60 minutes. We will test this code on the guest. Here we can see that the portal page appeared correctly after uploading the captive.css file through the file manager in the Pfsense firewall. Okay, here we will use this code. Here we can see that it's getting to the internet. We can wait for a couple of seconds. We can see that now we had access to the internet. So now this video is finished. Okay, there is a problem with happened with the virtual machine. Okay, so now the video is finished. My next video we will discuss how to install PF blocker NG on the Pfsense firewall. This is something also for DNS Swift filtering. We will see this in the next video. Hope this was informative for you, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you.